As Johnny pointed out, this poetry is something that we do to express ourselves. And first of all, let's give a hand to all the poets up here tonight. For some of them getting up here and reading their poetry, their thoughts is very hard to do. And so this is something that I have written as an expression of mine. It's a little long-winded, so bear with me with this. I express myself in a little different manner, and it's a poetic story. So, you know, it's kind of funny how the things you see can help you spark a memory. Or certain things that you may have heard can help you remember previous words. In fact, you know how music has the ability to time travel to the past and take us back, like... Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I simply wish I was a kid. Yeah, back to the exact moments we lived in. From past experiences to the exact place back then. Words spoken through catchy lyrics highlighted by the heartbeat from the bass. Can you relate? Reminiscing as you listen to the words New Edition pronunciates? You remember those days?
Yeah.
Hopefully you can, but just in case you were drawn to something a little more on the softer side, I would lie and take you back to the sounds of Night Kids Radio on Neo Soul 98.5, the deep, smooth voice of the DJ. People calling me and requesting songs to dedicate, saying, yeah, I would like to dedicate this next song to my lovely wife. If I ever fall in love, I shot. And so the DJ is like, the DJ is like, either way, whatever was your forte, be it R&B, hip-hop, or the old school play, when I hear something old played, I'm reminiscing of various moments. It reminds me of where I was at back in the day. These spoken verbs of poetic symbols blasting through my speakers and rattling keys, lifting my spirits to make me search for other sounds, other artists, other songs they sing, even some tight instrumentals that I could play, doing my best to imitate a DJ like. Nights and what your life is like during that time. You see, music has a way of helping us bring back old memories, to evoke the eyes of our minds, to reminisce on things we've done and said. It's like a movie in our heads, filming in our minds and starring us as the cast. It can be a song which hits us with a blast from our past, bringing feelings of happiness and bloom, or a melody that reaches into our hearts to reveal the sun or the moon and stars which burn bright as a night sky in the middle of nowhere. I'm there. Reminiscing again with the facial expression of a blank stare, as the day was a good day blast out of my speakers from the radio 105.9. In the back of my mind, I'm back in Cali again, driving down the 405, the 110. I'm in cool James mode, back on the beach, back in the streets of where I've previously been. I mean, I'm all like... Yeah, I'm in LA, baby. All day where I stay, where the lake is played and sunny every single day. I was digging being back in LA. No, I don't think so either. If my mind visually snaps back to reality, yeah, I can always go visit, be in my daydreams or even physically, but as you can clearly see, I'm no longer in Cali. It's been a minute since I've seen you. I'm not on PCH, not on the 605 or Sunset Drive. I'm no longer complaining about all the people and the unskilled manner in which they drive, or even anticipating the traffic fight, which is what I hated the most. I'm just driving down I-65 and reminiscing about the West Coast. I'm back in Alabama now. No hate, because this is the place I was raised, where I grew up and where I was made. I had to come back to the dirty South. I'm back home again, and if you didn't know how, it's all because of a girl I knew. The music that she made me feel inside, like R&B mixed with some Touch the Sky, is how I knew it was real. Making me abandon my West Coast bachelor home of sunshine with cool breezes and tropical weather and move on with my life. To make a decision even through the fears and apprehension, because I was feeling that, yeah, she could maybe one day be my wife. I knew it, but even better, she could be the one. So you know I was vibing to all those songs sung by music. I was all like, I had to learn somehow, and she was my willing teacher who taught. She conquered and divided as my heart subsided, and I finally decided to be cordially invited to love. I was called. Because when you know, like when you really know it's real, no, the earth doesn't stand still. But you know that there isn't anything else on earth that it can take the place of. You see, just to give you the backstory to all this inspired poetry, it started out with two friends. Each other they've known from years gone, just listening to music and talking about old memories and similarities. You see, I was talking to this little cutie, this fine dime over the phone, separated by different time zones, and I was trying my best to pass the test and get her to give me a little shine, a little smile my way to bless my day with the title of being hers and she being mine. So you know how it goes. It wasn't long before we had to see if we were compatible in other ways than just on the phone. So we decided to check through some music we played. What was our taste like in songs? All right, man, she said, if you know this one, then you pass the test. You're safe. Fine. Go ahead, play on. No way. That's what's his face. I know I'm safe now. We had a deal. And that was the start of something inside, something I knew was real. Something that explained to me what real really is and how I truly feel. Because sometimes you don't understand until it's past, until you look back and peer through your mind's eye time glass and see just how real it was. Words like, are you serious? And are you for real? Or as just to hear the explanation of a story that starts out just like this. You moved from LA to Birmingham? Why? Because it was real. And I knew what real was. In fact, it was so real that it seemed surreal, as if it were a thought that I could never know. Like a shining star in the farthest galaxy is born and from birth it grows, becoming the sun for a distant world and shining to provide light that only we could think about. That was how real it was for me to envision moving home back down south. It was love. It was doing things that you never thought or imagined you would do, things I never even dreamed of. I never figured that I would once again move. But the reality was that this thing right here, is real. It is real. That's all I knew. And I just felt like music. The notes, the melody, the lyrics, especially when it sounds like. I just felt like it was the truth. I was sure. Not just a possibility of what could be if we could make it work for a year or two or three, but what will become more as time passes. This system ends and our relationship matures. Growing older as the world ends and the next begins is something I've always wanted to do. I just hope I have the privilege of sharing it with hers too. It's true. I felt like Common's lyrics in the song he did with Mary J. As I listen to the music play, it takes me back to another thought in time and space, thinking about how I just couldn't wait. I had plans, and my plans involved the very things I heard Common say. I was like,
you and I can affect the world. I'm tired of the fast lane. I want you to have my last name.
I smiled, thinking about what my sacrifices were, because she was worth the 2 words of promises I made. I do, because I knew. I knew when we talked that day through the songs we played, which told of our true feelings and what we were too afraid to say since it was still so new. So instead of saying, I love you so soon, we would just make subtle hints for the words we use. Something like,
Yep.
Yeah, I had to choose her. And I'm just glad she also chose me. Because if I had to do it all over again, I always leave Callie in the wind. That decision was easy. She's everything I wanted and needed. All that mattered to me other than my spirituality, my necessity for life and breathing. The rhythm of my heartbeat, which communicates with my mind and my eyes can see it. To me, it was real. As real as the love I feel when I hear love songs played today. Reminded me of why I'm so happy to be back here in Bama, no longer in L.A. Why after 5 years we're still going strong and making plans again to celebrate. She's my Achilles heel, my kryptonite, my friend, my spiritual sister. So you know I had to make her my wife. As I pause in mid-thought on the realness due to a call on my phone from the music that plays, Jill Scott and Anthony Hamilton let me know who's calling. Relating my feelings through the ringtone of hers installed and singing in a way much better than I could ever say how I'm just so. I quickly snap back to present day, hesitating to answer for listening to the song play, but I know one thing. I better pick it up before the last ring, before it's too late. Yeah, I would answer a lot quicker if it was on vibrate, but it's not. And so I wait, thinking about her and counting the ways, just so amazed but also thankful for what I got. And I wait another rhyme, another song of lyrical verbs at another time to remind and take me back down memory lane and reflect on all the reasons why she's mine. Different rhymes to listen to, catchy beats, producing new memories and this type of poetry. Hip-hop symphonies we both can vibe to whenever we hear it played. And so I finally pick up my phone, stepping away from memory lane, but not for long, and speak to the person at home I've been thinking about all day. Hello? Hey, baby. And the music in my head continues to play on.